We're there to see Ted Danson and the gang receive a special proclamation.
They said, hurry up, we meet in the lobby, we're going to take some cars, we're all going to the steakhouse. I thought, all right, the Hungry Heifer, great.
I realized that this will be my only chance to get a picture of me ever speaking from such an exalted position, so... By the way, I have a very important announcement. I was only kidding about leaving the show.
But the party got even wilder when the cast was honored by a joint session of the Massachusetts legislature.
Afternoon, everybody.
Senate President William Bulger even handed over the gavel to the cast members of what House Speaker Charles Flaherty called the second longest running show in Boston.
You know, you might give a lot of these things out, but I've never got a resolution or proclamation, and I feel like a big shot, I tell you.
If Cliff could only see me now. I've never been resoluted or proclamated on the same day myself.
This convention, and it's regrettable, but this convention stands adjourned.
We were feeling so good today, and I have to say I was feeling especially privileged to be part of this event. I got to MC the event at the State House. I will never forget seeing those limos pull up and the cast members get out one by one. First we saw KELSEY, then Norm, George Wendt, John Ratzenberger, Ted, and Rhea. And as they came up the stairs and people were cheering and applauding and the rain was coming down, this cast looked truly overwhelmed. They were really touched. I've talked to them before, and they said it means so much to them to be here in Boston. They feel truly embraced by all of us. I wish that Ted Danson weren't kidding when he says he changed his mind. I wish he could come back again. I wish they all could. But they're going out, with a bang. Big celebration here tonight at the Bull and Finch Pub. We'll be covering the whole thing live on the 11 o'clock news. So reporting live from the Cheers Bar, the original Cheers Bar in Boston. Back to you, Jack and Liz.
Now, I have a question for you, Joyce.
Yes.
Clear something up for me. I understand that the cast members have never seen the conclusion of the Cheers. They haven't seen the finale. Is that correct?
Obviously, they have taped this finale. They know what the pieces are. I don't believe they have actually seen this episode. They were still editing this up until the very last moment. I don't think anybody see it. I think that we're all going to see it together here tonight. That's what I'm going to watch, and it starts at exactly 9:22, so it's a little bit longer than 90 minutes, which suggests that maybe there's some things there they didn't want to cut out. That's all I know at this point.
Okay, Joyce. Well, we're going to see you in a little while. What a day, what a night. Thanks
See you
a lot.
soon.
Okay. It's estimated that the television audience for tonight's final episode of Cheers could approach 100 million people. Can you believe it? But just watching the finale on TV is not good enough for the true fans of Cheers. As Eyewitness News reporter Uma Pimaraju tells us, they want to feel it, touch it, see it in person.
It's a last call that's drawing thousands. Cheers fans are everywhere, and for this moment in television history, many simply want to be part of it all.
I think it was a great show, and it did a lot for the city of Boston, so I'm glad to get this kind of tribute from the people of Boston. And then we have a last call T-shirt.
And there were the Cheers groupies who arrived at dawn and whose passion for the show runs deep.
I have countless tapes. I have like 10 volumes of just about every episode except for 3.
And for diehards, the weather was no problem. It didn't matter to you whether it was rainy or chilly.
Nope, brought my umbrella, brought a book, and have a cooler full of food, so we're all set.
All right, listen,
And of course, with the Tonight Show also in town and Jay Leno holding court, it's an electric atmosphere with many fans happy to see the Andover native back on his home turf.
I sit up every night to watch him.
We're a supporter of Jay's. We wish him lots of luck with the show, and this is a great idea for him to go on location.
And with all the excitement and anticipation that's building around the Cheers finale and the Tonight Show bash, this evening will be an incredibly special experience for one courageous young woman who plans to be in the Tonight Show audience. She says it's a dream come true.
I jumped up and down on the bed. The nurse's station called and asked why I was screaming. It was great. It was such an excitement.
This was one treat Michelle Kennedy never expected. Her life has been filled with concerns about her future. Michelle needs a bone marrow transplant and hasn't left her hospital bed for more than a month. When friends managed to get her tickets to the Tonight Show, it was the kind of boost she says she needed.
I haven't been able to really get out of this area in about 5 weeks. To me, it's like a little piece of Boston history that's going to be going on, you know? It's just everyone is there. It's been so pumped up. It's been so riled up. And I've been watching Cheers for years. I mean, back when Shelley Long first started it and everything. It's just, it makes me happy.
And this is one moment that Michelle can always treasure. Uma Pemaraju, TV4 Eyewitness News.
Well, Michelle, we're really happy for you. Reminder that the only place you can see the final episode of Cheers is right here on Channel 4. No need to change channels. The 2-hour Cheers finale begins at 9 o'clock, followed by Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock with live reports from outside the famous Bull and Finch pub. That'll be immediately followed by The Tonight Show, broadcast, of course, from Boston. Tonight, Jay Leno hosting the program live again right from Beacon Street. Well, today, Leno joked about all the attention Cheers is getting.
NBC overhype? Hardly. Hype is our middle name. You know, this is done so well that every week NBC is going to cancel all their shows. They'll just cancel shows on a regular basis.
And we'll hear more from Jay Leno later on in our newscast tonight when Joyce talks with the Tonight Show host.
There is other news. The 17-week job dispute at Boston Gas is over. Today, members of 2 union locals ratified a new 6-year contract. Eyewitness News reporter Walt Sanders found that even though union members accepted it, there still are some bad feelings after the 4-month job dispute.
Don't feel good about it, but I think it was the best we could get from the company. So, just glad to still have a job, you know?
I'm old enough, I feel great about it. Very good.
It's something you can live with, health benefit provisos and all, huh?
Everything. Good. Very good.
The reactions of Elton Williams and Bob Connors to the new 6-year agreement were poles apart. They both agreed, though, as did other union members, it was time to get back to work.
I don't think they would have got a better contract 20 weeks another year from now. I know they wouldn't have got a better one.
If the company had really tried or really shown an interest in it, they could have had it settled the first week.
The job dispute was triggered by a breakdown in talks over health benefits. Under previous contracts, Boston Gas paid all health costs. Under the new agreement, out-of-pocket contributions for workers will be about $2,000 to $4,000 a year.
Our people will be paying half of what the salaried people are paying now for their hospital medical plan.
Local union president Paul Hannon said he regrets that relationships were strained between his membership and Boston Gas.
But it never will be, in my opinion, the same family type of operation. The company has turned it into a business. I guess that was the hardest thing I had to swallow in this whole 17 weeks.
Boston Gas workers return to their jobs June 1st. At that time, both management and labor will get about the business of trying to heal the very deep economic and psychological wounds caused by this bitter labor dispute. Reporting from Dorchester, I'm Walt Sanders, TV4 Eyewitness News.
While this dispute is over, there are about 190 steelworkers union workers who are still involved in a lengthy dispute with Bay State Gas in Springfield. Jack?
Well, it is a record today. The House Ways and Means Committee recommended $15.5 billion budget, and it does include some tax increase proposals. The package would allow cities and towns to increase Proposition 2.5 property tax limit by the rate of inflation. It would also allow communities to hike the auto excise tax from the current $25 to $66 per thousand. Renters who itemize their state income tax return would lose their rental deduction. The president of the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation says the House faces some tough choices.
In fact, the rental deduction was, I believe, initially passed in Prop 2.5, and so they all go back to that original voter initiative, and I think they're all controversial, and I think it's highly unlikely the rental deduction will be changed, so the House is going to have to find another $50 million in cuts.
And Governor Weld is calling the tax-raising parts of the plan veto bait. Liz?
One other item in the proposed budget is $20 million for rate relief for water and sewer customers. Most of the money going to customers of the MWRA. Those customers are helping pay for the cleanup of the Boston Harbor, and their bills are skyrocketing. And that concern has reached Beacon Hill. So today, a legislative committee proposed $50 million a year in rate relief for low-income families. The money would also pay for grants to help treat sewage of large commercial users. Over the long term, the committee suggests cutting more than $150 million in the cleanup of the Boston Harbor. Coming up next, a Wayland photographer is under arrest on charges of rape.
Questions tonight, but no suspect in the shooting death of a couple in Goffstown, New Hampshire. And the Boston Catholic Church strikes out at abortion activists for a rash of vandalism at local churches.
Put your heart into it.
Be tough. I am not going to pay a lot for this muffler. By George, I think he's got it.
Don't be bullied into paying a lot for a muffler. Now more than ever at Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Why has Mercury Grand Marquis outsold every other full-size car in New England over the last 5 years? Because these did not. And why is Grand Marquis even more attractive these days? Could be this pretty figure. For $319, you can lease a Grand Marquis with standard dual airbags and all the things that make it a bestseller. Think Grand Marquis at your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Comfort me softly, comfort me warmly.
There's nothing like a quilt for comfort. That's what our new bathroom tissue is all about. New Quilted Northern. Softer than ever for more comfort than ever.
So won't you please comfort me?
Take comfort in New Quilted Northern.
Dave's the funniest movie of the year. Time magazine calls it winning. Newsweek, fun.
Okay, let's get back to work.
Whoa! Rolling Stone, irresistible. USA Today, hilarious. Good Morning America, great. The New York Times, delightful. And Siskel and Ebert give Dave 2 thumbs up.
Do I need to dial 90?
Kevin Kline, Sigourney Weaver, Dave, and Ivan Reitman film rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
Who wants some cake? Wow, look at all those presents. Come on, everybody, it's game time. Ouch! Now cut that out.
Put your heart into it. Be tough. I am not going to pay a lot for this muffler. By George, I think he's got it.
Don't be bullied into paying a lot for a muffler. Now more than ever at Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Eyewitness News continues with Liz Walker and Jack Williams.
A Wayland photographer stands accused of repeatedly raping a 13-year-old boy over a 2-year period. 50-year-old Peter Benjamin was in Middlesex Superior Court to face the charges. Prosecutors say Benjamin gave the teenager marijuana, alcohol, and money for sex. Benjamin denies the charges. He was released after posting $500 in bail, and he is due back in court in 3 weeks.
In Goffstown, New Hampshire, still no motive or arrest tonight in connection with a couple found dead in their home. Eyewitness News reporter John Doherty says authorities now believe it was murder, and today they determined how the couple died.
The medical examiner has concluded that Ms. Caro suffered multiple gunshot wounds and died as a result of those wounds.
Investigators now say that both Debbie Carew and her husband David were shot to death. The couple was found yesterday in their Warren Avenue home by their 2 young children when they returned from school. The boy and girl ran to a house across the street shouting, "Call 911." Arthur Juneau, who lives nearby, said the Carews had been in the area for more than 5 years, but were not well known.
Well, the Carews kept to themselves, so I never know.
But others said the house was the scene of a great deal of activity, that cars and vans were seen coming and going, often throughout the night.
Was David known to Goffstown police in a criminal sense?
I really can't comment on that.
While state police and Goffstown detectives look for a killer, neighbors of the Carews are trying to cope with the kind of tragedy that we always believe happens somewhere else.
It's very frightening and just, I can't believe that somebody would come in like that, plus nobody saw anything. I mean, I'm the closest neighbor to them just about it. I didn't see or hear anything or, so I don't know if it was maybe somebody they knew or something like that.
Investigators have questioned several people since the bodies were discovered, but they say so far they have neither suspects nor a motive. In Goffstown, New Hampshire, John Doherty, TV4 Eyewitness News.
The Carews' 2 small children are now being cared for by grandparents.
The Boston Catholic Archdiocese is pointing fingers at who it calls the pro-abortion activists for an outbreak of vandalism at area churches. In the last month, the Archdiocese says 5 churches, including St. Aidan's in Brookline and St. Ignatius Church in Chestnut Hill, have been targeted. The vandals have glued the locks to stop church parishioners from entering, and they've left behind notes announcing their opposition to the church stand on abortion. John Walsh is a spokesperson for the Boston Archdiocese.
When people came for their religious services, they couldn't get the doors open immediately anyway. There were notes left containing certain pro-abortion messages, I would characterize them as.
The president of Massachusetts Now condemned the vandalism, but also pointed out that some of the churches had hosted meetings for Operation Rescue.
At least three of the 5 churches that have been vandalized, to my knowledge, are churches that Operation Rescue have, in the past, have gathered before they do attack clinics. So there may be some connection, although I'm really not aware of it.
Both the Archdiocese and Mass Now called any attacks on churches and church property misguided.
And the weather, Bruce called for it, chilly and damp, and by golly, not very pleasant out there today.
Yeah, I wish we could produce a little better weather here for all the celebrants in town. Sorry, we can't, but a fine, soft day, as they would say in Ireland. A little fog, a little drizzle, a little rain, and we'll have a little more tonight.
It won't be a total washout down there with all the festivities.
No, it will not be a total washout. It'll still be soft.
Okay, Bruce has that wet forecast coming up next.
Your pictures are developed, $12. Your x-rays are developed, $0.
It's a medical miracle.
What, you may ask, is going on? Millions of otherwise ordinary people suddenly disappearing. There's only one answer. A national Big Mac attack.
And here's why. For a limited time, when you buy a Big Mac at the regular price, you get a second Big Mac for just 25 cents. It's all for Big Mac's 25th anniversary. Remember, buy a Big Mac at the regular price, get a second Big Mac for just 25 cents.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
This is my family. This is me. This is Rex. This is our Ford Aerostar. Dad says it's really safe. And we saved $2,900. That's my allowance. For the next 50 years. This is my frog. This is my wagon. This is Mom's escort wagon. It's a lot fancier than my little wagon. Mom says it's a great value. It's fun to ride in. Except when we go to pick up the babysitter. Don't miss family days at your Ford dealer.
Your job, your bills, your boss, your back, your age, your memory, your mother-in-law. Are there any selling points we missed?
Selecting a new car should be a rational decision. A perfect argument for Dodge Shadow. With this package, you'll get a wealth of options, like AM/FM stereo cassette and air conditioning. Plus, you'll get $1,000 cash back. $2,000 if you should decide on a sunnier location, making Shadow very affordable at just over 10 grand. So, whether you buy, lease, or just want to look, Shadow definitely makes sense. See your nearest Dodge dealer today. We know how to help.